Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share a channeled message for you guys about the energies coming in the month of July 2022. And I have two beings who stepped forward today to share these messages. And interestingly enough, they're very closely related and connected. And it is Mother Gaia and Archangel Ariel. So obviously most of us know who Mother Gaia is. She is the planet that we're on, Mother Gaia, the energy and consciousness of Mother Earth. But some of you might not be familiar with Archangel Ariel. I don't believe I've ever shared a channeled message from her on my channel or in my group anywhere. So I'm going to talk a little bit about her. She happens to be the Archangel of Nature. So she works with all of nature and all of the natural kingdoms, like the elements. She works with, I'm hearing the moon even, but she works with the plants, the animals, the insects. So everything that makes up nature, basically, is who Ariel is most known for her work. So with that, I just found that to be a very interesting connection, and even the way they kind of showed up when I asked, because I always invite the beings who want to share the message for the month to step forward. And they had me like pulling cards from certain decks. I mean, I was hearing Gaia, but I wasn't picking up on Ariel very clearly. I was hearing Ariel, but that it was a feminine angel. So they were trying to give me hints, but it wasn't coming in because my brain hasn't tuned to her energy in a while, or even thought of her in a while. So it was like a far removed thought from my brain to connect with her. So that happens a lot with guides, by the way. Sometimes they'll come in different ways to sort of help you draw the connection and move you closer to where you're actually hitting the nail right on the head. So don't assume because you heard a different name that you got it wrong. Maybe there's a similar frequency or vibration or something about that name that is drawing you out. It's going to lead you into the path that's going to help you find the correct answer. Anyways, so let's get into the messages. First, I'm just going to tune to their energy real quick, and I feel Lady Gaia, Mother Gaia, stepping forward right away. Lots of heart expansion and high vibrational love and light feeling throughout my body and auric field. She's having me look down right now, so I feel she wants to just have me read this card. It says, Earth connection, be mindful of the planet, come back to Earth, stay grounded. So how is this message relevant? And I'm also seeing, for the first time, and I never noticed it before, on this card, the sacred geometry, the flower of life. And I'm hearing that planting seeds. This is a month for planting seeds and new growth and transformation on a cellular and DNA level, she's saying. So there's a lot of dormant DNA that's been dormant codes of DNA within the Earth planetary structures that are awakening right now, and we're feeling these energies kind of push up from out of the ground, giving new life, sprouting new sprouts coming up. So look for new plants, look for new plantings, look for new structures to be in a very, very beginning stages of giving birth to new growth, new life. Hierarchy structures she's showing. So this feels like it's a message about systems, the systemic changes that are to come, that are on the horizon. She's calling it the event horizon. I've heard that term somewhere before, but it's the horizon of a new timeline, a new shift, that we are shifting into a higher timeline, and there's momentum for change is on the horizon. So it's picking up speed, and she's showing like the wind, as if the wind was rushing in. There was a gust of wind that just came in. It carries with it like all this debris, so it's kind of swirling things around and picking up debris in its path, but that debris is moving over and getting dropped in a different location. It's going to be scattered about. So this is how it feels like this is how your cities and communities feel at this time. A lot of people are picking up and moving, like literally relocating, moving in new directions of growth and change. So a lot of you, and she's talking to us as lightworkers now, are shifting and changing as you're being activated. So you're being scattered around like little rain droplets. She's saying she's placing you in new locations for the work that you are going to be doing that you may not even know of. She's saying you may not be consciously aware of why you're being placed, where you're being placed, or guided to these locations, but they are physical locations she's talking about, but there's spiritual locations as well, she's saying. So there's a heightened spiritual awareness of where your guides want you to go, where your guides want to take you. For future development, for future fruition. So there's a future path and a future plan that's starting to come to life, and you're planting the seeds of the ideas of this new birth, new creation, new life is being planted in your heads right now for the light workers specifically, because it has to do with new growth and new earth communities that are building on a higher spiritual plane, she's showing. So in the etheric realms, this is happening where many of us, and I can speak to this as being true for myself and my group, and I feel that's what she's sort of drawing attention to, are kind of in the process of creating collective energies, group collective energies that are very united on their soul paths and missions and divine purpose in the oneness, and how they're going to help unify the collective on a higher vibrational scale. What she's showing, excuse me, is that these smaller collections and groupings, she's calling it, of spiritual beings, are developing a plan, and they're putting that plan into action. So they're very action oriented at this time. They're getting a stir to move. They're getting a stir they're being called to motion. She's saying called to action to actually, it feels like many of us in these communities have been getting ideas for a while. We've been processing these ideas, and we've been hearing this call for a while, but we're finally being called to action to actually formulate a plan for our mission and how we're going to bring these pieces of integration into birth, into creation. So we're very much in a planning stage. It's very much a cooperation. It's a divine mission for all to serve as one. So it's a collection of beings that are being called to kind of gather together and create something new for the higher collective, for the growth of the higher collective. Oneness and unity consciousness is where you are moving into. These are the fifth dimensional frequencies of oneness that are calling you to connect and collect, to vibrate together, she's showing, to become as one in these smaller units. The more oneness that we have in these gatherings placed throughout locations and in the etherical realm, as you connect with each other through the internet, and you find your pathway to connection through the digital technology and in the internet, essentially that web is what connects us from not having to move per se physically. But some of us are being called to actually move in the physical. And this is because some of us are here to work more with our hands and more hands-on in the actual local communities. So not on the digital, not in the digital community. So she's saying be mindful of how you're being called, what you feel you're being called to do, how you feel you're being called to work and give back to Gaia in this higher system and web of life. That is creation, that is speeding up and accelerating this creative and birthing process. This is the new light. This is the new seeds of light that have been planting in your mind for some time now. You are now being called. The seeds are activating. They are turning on, and they are releasing within your own conscious awareness all of the information. And she's showing it as if it's a seed implanted in within our very being, or a DNA structure that is just, it turned on, it lit up, and now their signals are being broadcast out. You're picking up on these signals, you're downloading this information, you're integrating it into the physical reality, and you're seeing it manifest through signs and synchronicities in the physical reality. Now she's drawing my attention to the cards that she pulled, because I totally got so into this message, I forgot that she even pulled cards specifically, and it's so crazy because now I'm looking at these cards and I'm going, did she have a card on this? And this was the order of the cards that came out, and these cards come from the Angel Prayers Oracle Cards guidebook by Kyle Gray. And so the first card she pulled was New Beginnings. I'm hearing new beginnings, new pathways unfolding and unlocking, ever unlocking, she's saying. And the card says, thank you, angels, for opening up the doors to change. I am ready. She's saying you are ready for service. You are being called to be in service. You are ready for active duty. If you haven't been consciously aware of your activation, you are activated now in this moment as you hear this message. You are being called for service and called for duty. It is you're being called for action. New beginnings on the horizon. New beginnings are happening now. So that was part of the message that she just shared. But this part that I was kind of getting to that reminded me of the cards was what she was starting to show me about signs from heaven, about the signs and synchronicities and the symbols and meaning that your guides are showing you, that are manifesting in the physical. So signs from heaven. Thank you, heaven, for sending me reminders of your presence, it says. So we are getting tapped on the head. We are getting woken up by our guides. Our guides are stepping in full force. If you're in touch with your spirit team, if you know who your guides are, great. You're in alignment. You're on your mission. You've already been hearing the calling. You're already aware of what's going on. If you're not in touch with your guides and you haven't met them yet, you don't know who your divine spirit team is, who the ascended masters are that are wanting to work with you, the archangels, how your team is built and coming together. You're ready for assistance. You're ready for assistance now, and they're wanting you to get to know them better. It's time you got to know your team in spirit and how they're helping you, because they are essentially the ones showing you the way. They're the ones placing the breadcrumbs in front of you. They're the ones helping you expand your intuition and develop your spiritual gifts, your powers of insight and manifestation, I'm hearing. So you really need to tune to your guides, tune your awareness to your guides. If you haven't been seeing the signs and symbols and you don't know how to see or recognize that your guides are around and how they're giving you the signs. They're giving you the signs, but you may not be recognizing them. But once you make that direct connection and line of communication, once you open up that line of communication and you start asking them more specifically for help, you start talking to more specific guides and asking for guidance from specific guides for help, you'll start to develop a relationship with them. You'll start to get to know them, and you'll start to see and recognize the ways they're communicating with you and the ways essentially that the universe is giving back. She's saying universal abundance is here and on its way, and that was the third card, spiritual abundance. Thank you, angels, for blessing me with infinite abundance. Infinite abundance and infinite intelligence is here, is activating on this earth in this moment right now through this message. You are being drawn. Your awareness is being drawn because you are being called to duty. You are being called to serve your mission in the highest alignment of your truth and your light and your inner wisdom in knowing what the right path for you is. So really powerful words from Mother Gaia. I feel her kind of just come into a little bit of a pause or a break with that, but very, very smooth, very fluid, very clear energy coming from her and a very clear message. And I'm being called to share that I'm actually channeling this message a little earlier than I normally would. I'm recording it because I'm about to go on vacation and I want to make sure it's available when July comes around, but it is actually June 24th today that I'm channeling it, and this is the another third and last 666 portal date of June, and it's also the day where the planets are all aligned. So I did a video on that alignment, which I'll leave a link here if you haven't watched it yet, called The Great Deluge and Truth Reset, which is a channeling from a galactic guide that came through and shared a really powerful message. And this seems to be related, some of the reasons I think Gaia is coming through so strongly in Archangel Ariel today with the nature vibes is because it's just a powerful time for earth activations taking place is what I'm hearing right now, and that was kind of talked about in that video, so do go back and watch that if you haven't already. But this alignment is happening today, and it's the peak of the energies are coming into alignment today. So all of these planets are in a row and visible in the early morning sky today, and I've been getting major downloads and activations all day long and hearing my guides like crystal clear without even just a thought in my mind, a quick question, and I'm getting a very clear answer. So clear connection with Gaia right now. Let me just ask her if there's anything else she would like to share, because those were the cards that she pulled, and she's so polite. She's saying no, thank you. The feeling is I've shared enough, and that was my message was clear. It's taking action on these new steps forward, lighting your path, the ways your team start to see the ways your team is lighting the path before you and activating you to take, and these seeds are somehow like planted and going off in your brain, kind of telling you through your own intuition and guidance what the next steps are, and they're making it really clear through the signs and synchronicities. So if you're not getting the message, if you feel like you're not seeing very clearly, and as I said that, I just saw like a little white orb like right in front of me just go bounce in and out, almost like fairy dust. Really interesting. If you're not getting the messages, she was saying, do check in with your guides more regularly, because they're trying to get your attention in some way, and this message just might be one of those ways they're trying to get your attention. And if you don't know how to get in touch, she's saying work with guides that, like people on earth that can help you tune in. So mediums like myself, but there's more of us out there. There's many of us out there, many mediums, many channels. Just find the right medium and channel that can get you the download and information that you need to know what your correct path is. It's very important that we know what our mission is, and that we get in touch with those higher aspects of ourselves that are wanting to integrate into us, download into us at this time, coming from source, coming from our higher soul. We're here to embody those higher aspects in a way that that is in alignment with the ascension that Earth is on, the ascension path that Earth is on, in the ways that nature needs our help, and that we're all interconnected. So we need to find our tribe, we need to find our path, and we need to really be sure that we know what path we're on and what path we're choosing, because whether we're conscious of it or not, she's showing you are choosing a path. You are choosing a path in every single moment, every single thought, every single word, every single action. Indeed, you're making a choice. You're making some kind of choice as to what timeline you're shifting into. And so you want to move with the direction of the earth. You need to know the timeline she's on, and you need to know what your divine mission is. So if you feel confused, questioning, doubting, there's uncertainty, ask for help, either directly from your team or have them guide you to the right person on your path that can help you find the answers through communication that has more of a direct communication or line. And, just putting this out there because I feel like this is something important. I do coach people and I offer intuitive coaching sessions, which is really what that's kind of about, is helping people align with their powers of manifestation, their highest timelines. But they're going to be showing me in this moment why that work is important and needed right now, because a lot of people are confused and a little bit lost, and they're in the process of being rearranged and scattered. So to kind of draw in the highest alignment outcome where these souls, these lost souls need to be. They need to be placed. They need to find their place on the earth. It's very important that we all find our ultimate place on this earth where we are most needed by the earth. Energy and the entire system, for the entire system to wake up, we need to find our place, our true authentic place. So that comes from within, finding ourselves within and living authentically, but it also comes from action, the way that our team is guiding us in the directions we are going. So very, very interesting. There's links to the services that I offer and the groups that I created where you can get more information about that in the descriptions box below. And if you're not on Facebook, because my business page is on Facebook, then you can always just email me directly if you're interested in learning more about your personal spirit team and who's working with you. But that said, because I wasn't planning on advertising my services in this video, but that's just really funny. Thank you, Mother Gaia, for giving me the opportunity to do that in a way that aligns with your message. And she's saying, you're welcome. Very graceful and beautiful energy, as you could imagine. Okay, I got a little lost because that I wasn't expecting that, so that just kind of threw me off. So was there anything else you would like to share, Gaia, with your message? No, thank you again. Okay, awesome. So Archangel Ariel is coming in now, and she's really coming in forward, and I'm really feeling the vibration of her energy kind of like as on this card, very, very like bright and cheery almost, but very, she's not coming in with orange per se. Well, I'm seeing some yellow, but it's kind of shifting now into like more of a green, pink, turquoise type of energy, because I feel like that's truer to her frequency. It feels like how she's being portrayed here is more of like the warrior, a lioness side aspect that she represents, because her name means lioness of God, but she is most associated with nature. So she's associated with lions and a lioness. So she's also sometimes depicted as having a head of a lioness, and coming in with that kind of feline, regal energy of the lion, but warrior energy. But she also has a very soft side, and she works with the whole of nature and helping to bring it all into harmonic balance, is what she's saying. And that's why her frequency is needed on this planet now. She's saying it's all about peace and balance. That is the ultimate law of nature, is balance. Everything is to balance the energy and the harmonic flow of the energy and the way that life is given and life is received. The way that life is taken and the way that life is birthed, is what she's saying, or destroyed and reborn again, is another way of putting it. So let me just see what she wants to share. Her card message says, thank you, Ariel, for helping me stand my ground with peace. So she's heralding in like, this is a call for peace. This is a time to stand our ground in unity. She's saying that is what the energies are ultimately calling for: harmonic balance, a way to find peace within. This is not the first time you've heard this message, she's saying, because my mind is kind of going, oh, we've been hearing this a lot. She's like, it's a major theme, peace within. But also is groundedness and standing your ground, standing firm on the ground on which you walk, is an important lesson, an important theme for all of humankind, for all territories, she's showing. And this is going to be reflected, she's saying, back from the way the world is, from your view of the world and the reality that you live in. Are you creating harmony in your life? Are you seeing harmony in your life? Are you seeing balance? Are you seeing interconnectedness? Are you seeing oneness with nature? Are you feeling your connection with nature? Is your connection with nature growing stronger? Are the nature spirits calling to you? Are the elementals coming out from their hiding places? Are you seeing them, feeling them, sensing them, perceiving them, not just with your physical eyes, or not just with your mind's eye, even your clairvoyant eye? Are you seeing them in your physical environment? Are they showing up as pictures and snapshots of fairies, elves, butterflies, the nature spirits, the nature guides? These are the ones calling to you, calling to make a connection at this time. The dragons, the water spirits, the fire spirits, the spirits of all the elements live among you and within all of everything that you see and everything that you seek. It is all one. These kingdoms work in harmony with each other, in harmonic accord and balance, and they are here to teach you how to do the same. So listen, pay attention, listen to the sounds calling you, the sounds of nature. Listen to when the birds are calling you and singing you a song. Everything is for you, she's showing. Everything is for you. When the air, she's showing like when the wind blows a breeze and it just brushes your hair just ever so slightly. That is a message. That is your message, your personal message from the nature guides. Be paying attention to these messages and what they're showing you and the ways they're showing you how to walk, where to look, where to see, the path that lies ahead. This is very important at this time. So she's not saying much about like the actual like what's happening, the shifts and changes. So I was kind of gonna see if she wanted to touch on that, but she's saying, yes, dear one, many shifts and changes, many earth changes, many places getting rattled and shaken up. You have shared some of these messages before, and these messages will continue. As Mother Gaia spoke, the structures that are holding your ground in place are being shaken and rattled up from the inside out, from the core out, to where there will be ruin, there will be destruction of these higher systems of authority that present as the most powerful and most knowing of all systems. They claim to be all powerful, all knowing, appear to be all powerful and all knowing to the naked eye, but in reality, they are weak within their own internal structure and dynamic, for it is crumbling. The old ways of doing things are shifting and changing. The changes are shifting from within and showing up without. Showing up. The last thing you will see, she's saying, after all of these changes have been made, after all of these internal changes have come to be or fruition, is that final structure falling, is the removal of that structure from this plane of existence, the hierarchical structure she's showing. The pathways now, the mission now that is more in alignment with these energies is to just know these are falling, in the process of being dismantled. But for you, light workers, your mission is to know the path forging ahead, what you are asked to create within the balanced harm structure of Mother Earth, before it is those creations that are going to grow with all might, like almighty, is what she's saying. And they are going to be the pillars, the last pillars standing when all the dark has fallen, when all the truths have been revealed. By then, by the time these structures fall, these old structures she's calling them, by the time those structures fall, there will already be new ones in place to take their stand, is what she's showing, of power. And that's what the hierarchy that you are being called to create. That is the structures that you are being activated to create at this time. The inner, in the, what's she calling them? the temples or structures that are going to be in place when when nothing else is standing, when these other structures are no longer standing. There has to be a place to go to. What she's showing me is like structures considered like hospitals, governments, like the government kind of agenda. It's just, there's new treatments being made. There's just new creations in all areas of life, in all areas, in the areas of healing, in the areas of politics, which is all of that will be handled and taken care of. And that's why this displacement process, as it's taking place, it's really important to know like where you're being called to go, and to understand from that higher perspective what your true service and mission is in the creation of the whole and the birthing of the new. So she wants me to go to the cards. She pulled 4 cards, looking for the deck, and it's not around me, but it's on the other table over there. The Spirit Animal deck by Colette Baron Reed, I believe her name is. And so, of course, it would be the spirit, or the animals, because she's really close with the animals too. But here we go. These are the 4 cards she pulled from that deck, and these are her messages, her other messages for us. Final messages for us, I'm hearing. Now is the time to take the lead. Take the lead, the stag spirit. You've got your put your antlers on, she's saying. Put your antennas on. Take charge. She's showing as if like a stag was like running and getting ready to like pound into something with their antlers. Be on alert. So it's like the antlers serve as like a radar system almost too, but also as like a sign of strength and wisdom and might. And also she's showing a connection to the higher dimensions and realms. So this stag energy is really important right now. In a way, we're all growing our antlers, she's saying. You're all growing your horns, she's also calling them. So horns seem to have the same magical, she's saying, the magical energy of the horn, and she's showing the unicorn. So these symbolizations and representations are very similar in nature. So this is like the unicorn's horn in nature, and it with the antlers, it grows. Like she's showing like almost like you get 2 with that, where the unicorn is just 1, but then there's 2 with the antlers, so you've got like a balance there of the divine masculine, divine feminine, it feels like. So there's a lot of symbolization with just this antler picture of the antlers here with the stag spirit. But take the lead, take charge is the message. And I'm hearing take your position of authority that is rightly yours. You are an expert in your field, and you are being called to show your expertise and share your expertise with the world. She's talking about your spiritual knowledge and your spiritual gifts. You know, you've been working on this path for some time, this path of healing and inner transformation, and now it's time to like you walk it and share it and be it, become it, become the healers for you're being called to serve now. It's just plain and simple, and you might be called to serve in a unique way than somebody else will be called, but it's all about using your spiritual gifts of insight and awareness and your connection with the higher beings of light that are working with us, and all your connections with your spirit guides, to let them assist you and work with you and through you by guiding the process, because they're coming from that higher place and that place of like mastery and higher wisdom, so they can guide our process very, very easily from that place. And we can feel safe taking charge in their lead, is what I'm hearing. Let them lead as well. Let them guide. Surrender to their wisdom, their divine wisdom and heart. Okay, so the next card is Lizard Spirit. and it says, dream the world into being. So I'm hearing something coming through, but I just want to make sure I get it right before I start speaking it out. Okay, what are you saying? She's saying, dream the world awake. Dream the world awake. By bringing in your vision of the world you want to create, you're helping to dream the world awake. You're helping to wake up the collective consciousness of all through their dream states. They're feeling this call and are being activated. So trust in the divine connection that all have to their own spirit guides, even those who are not consciously showing themselves to be awake to the higher truths and how the spirit world works and nature world works. Trust that they are getting these messages in their dream state because they are being guided too, and they are also serving the light too. Even if they don't know the direction to go, they are still in service to the light, and they're part of the collective all. So when we make a call for harmony, and we put out a call for harmony as a powerful light worker being, and we work with our own guides in creating that harmony in our own lives and with the own collective groups that we are in communities that we're a part of, we are creating harmony for all, accord for all. So your dream is helping others to wake up, essentially. The dream and vision that you're creating, and the harmony that you, in balance and peace that you're creating in your own life, is creating that for all and helping all to kind of wake up to the idea that they need to get on board, that they need to be cooperating and going along with the plan instead of trying to resist the changes. They'll be more compliant with the changes because they will see how many people around them have changed, and they'll start to see their attention. Their guides are going to draw their attention to, like, the people over here that are doing it differently but seem to be way more high vibe than the people over here that are doing it supposedly the way it's always been done, but seem really messed up and like not happy, essentially not living their best life, not being their best self. People's attention is going to be drawn to look at those around them and in their personal lives who are happy, connected, stable, grounded, living in a very peaceful and magical and blissful state and joyful state. That's going to get other people's attention. That's what gets people's attention, she's saying. That's what helps wake people up. When they see someone over here doing it differently, and that person living in like an untouched sort of blissful state, not to say that you don't have your problems and stuff, but it's just your energy is glowing and things are flowing and abundance is coming in many forms and many ways, and synchronicities and all of that magic is happening in your life, and you're telling stories about this magic, and they're seeing it. They're going to see it more. They're going to see it more clearly. So that's how people are waking up. They're waking up to seeing that there are some of us that live very magical, very special lives. What's the difference? How do we get on board with that? Curiosity, it's going to spark their curiosity and they're going to start questioning it. And it's also going to be coming in more on their radar in many ways because there's a lot of us talking more openly about this now. It's all over the internet, it's all over YouTube. So even if they're not going actively searching for it, it's going to come in. It's going to come in. They're going to find it somehow, that there's spirit guides out there, that, we have this connection, higher connection to everything, and this divine source connection and all of that. Just trust that their attention is going to be aligned more with that frequency, the more of us that are aligned and traveling on that frequency, she's saying. The third card that came out was Coyote Spirit, and this card says trust in divine detours. And she's saying you are being rerouted. Many of you are being rerouted. Trust the rerouting process. Don't give in to fear. Don't listen to your fear. Listen to your guides. Listen to your intuition, your internal guidance system, whatever you want to call it, however you want to perceive it, and however you want to view it. It's your heart leading the show. Your heart is leading the way. So go with in the directions of the desires of your heart. What are you seeking? Are you seeking freedom, joy, and bliss? Then follow that. Go in that direction. Go towards what brings you joy, what raises your frequency, and leave the rest. So, and trust that it's like the guidance in the divine. It's there. You're going through a rerouting process, so it might. She's showing like it might feel a little choppy at times, like you're going one way and then you're going this way, and you might even feel like you're going backwards sometimes and then forwards, backwards and forwards, like a curvy road, like a crooked path, not like a straight and narrow shot. But she's saying all of this is needed. You're picking up all these pieces that are needing integration, and also you're having all these experiences and opportunities to sort of learn more about yourself and what it is you came to do. So it's really our highest mission is to just remember who we are and why we came to have this experience on Earth. And it's really a learning process and a growing process. So there's not really a final outcome or destination. So the path is always going to feel like wobbly and crooked because there really is no final destination. It's just have an experience over here, then you go and have an experience over here, then you and you collect something from each experience. You collect some valuable piece of data or information that's going to then guide you to this experience over here. So there's really no right or wrong path. They all lead to one, is what she's saying. So do trust in the detours. And the last card from Ariel is Eagle Spirit. And the synchronicity of this card coming out is that I had a session with someone earlier today and I was guided. Again, I'm rarely guided to pull from this deck for my clients, but every so often. And I was guided today and this card came out for them. But it is Eagle Spirit. Spirit has your back. So, with that, she's just saying, like, everything that was just spoken, like this kind of like sums up all that was said. Just know that Spirit has your back. You have spirit teams guiding and assisting you, and it's time to take advantage of that knowledge and wisdom that they have for you, and get their input, so you can make more aligned steps. So it's not that you're ever on the wrong path, but sometimes you're on the path, but you want to be on the path of least resistance. You want to be going with the water and not getting like stuck in a dark corner over here and like where it has to kind of push you out. But that happens sometimes, she's saying, and there's nothing wrong about that. But your guides are showing you the way. Your internal guidance system is showing you the way and lighting the path. So trust it. Trust that the universe has your back. That's really the first step in this whole process, is just trusting the information that you get, trusting in what you see, like not having to see it like 3 or 4 times before you start to get the message, but just seeing it once and knowing. So the quicker you can trust the process and the quicker you can recognize the message, the faster and more accelerated your pace will be as far as your ascension goes. But everybody, she's showing, needs to go on a pace that's comfortable for them and what feels in alignment for them. So she's saying that your guides aren't going to speed up the pace any faster than what you can handle energetically for your own soul's highest growth and ascension, because that's ultimately what it's about. It's for the growth and ascension of your soul, but also for everyone. And we're all in this together and working as one together. So integration is very important. Interconnectedness, harmonizing with the frequencies of nature is what she's showing this month. Getting equipped to take on the tasks that are at hand. So we're going to get downloads this month. We're going to get activations this month that are around rethinking the process, restructuring and reprogramming our mind and how our mind works, so we can see higher outcomes, so we can actually see past blocks and obstacles that are perceived, and we can see farther in the line of sight and distance to what our guides are calling us to do, and how this mission is being presented to us through physical form and the physical experiences and human experiences that we're having, and then how we're tuning into this information and how it's coming to us from a spiritual dimension, and how our guides are helping us. So, and then how to work more with nature as well, with the elementals. and feels like we're going to be seeing them more. It's just they're just getting more comfortable coming out and showing themselves more, because more people are connecting here with nature, and more people are bringing the frequency of Mother Earth up in vibration. So when the frequency goes up in vibration, that's when the elementals start coming out of their hiding places. They feel safe again to show themselves more physically. So pay attention for those signs and synchronicities, and let me know how you feel about this message and how it may resonate with you. Would also love to hear about like who your guides are, who you connect with or have been connecting with, or how you feel you might be coming into higher alignment with your divine mission and path. If this message feels true to you, would love to hear that. Please also do not forget to like the video and hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber, and then also hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I do release more content and channeled messages like this. I appreciate you all for being here. I look forward to seeing you again. Till next time. Bye for now. Bye.